Hi, I'm Joy.
Hi, I'm Lorraine.
And this is Girlish Gurus. And Lorraine, why are we here?
We're here to talk about mid-lifestyle topics for women who are 45 and older to help you live your best, healthiest, and most fulfilled life. We're also going to have lots of fun along the way.
So let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Girlish Gurus. I'm Joy.
And I'm Lorraine.
Lorraine, what are we talking about today?
We are wrapping up our first full year together.
Can you believe it's been a whole year already?
I know.
Wow, it's flown by.
Yeah. So we decided to pick our favorite episodes, and I think we have overlapping ones. I think most of them are overlapping. A couple of different ones. So we'll just maybe talk about each of them, and then we'll play some clips from them, our favorite clips. And this way you have a chance to go back and find those episodes and listen to the whole episode.
That sounds good.
Yep.
All right, let's get started.
Okay. So first, and we both picked this one, was the mindset reset. I'm kind of going in chronological order, right, for the years. Okay, so the mindset reset, which, by the way, you can download this program that we have, and we will put all the links to these underneath this episode. So the mindset reset was a discussion we had that centered around how we can identify and change the habit of negative self-judgment and accept and love ourselves for exactly as we are.
Oh, I love that. And here we are in December, and I'm looking back over this year, and it's just I need to listen to that whole episode multiple times.
Yeah. And that little program that we have, you get a daily email with a prompt to encourage you to love yourself and just treat yourself well. So in the episode, we specifically talked about what is self-judgment, how do we identify it, the destructive power of self-judgment, and how do we overcome it. So what we're going to do is, in between each of these little conversations that we're having about our favorite episodes, we'll just share a few clips from that episode.
But it would be very good for you to go back and listen to the full episode because it's a really good one.
Yeah.
It's something I know I continue to struggle with. And for those of us who are 45 and older, we are better suited to doing that now that we're older and we have wisdom and experience and a little more, hopefully, confidence. Yeah. It's easier to look at yourself and say, okay, maybe these are some steps I can take to get along with myself a little better.
Yeah. And we should be doing that throughout the year. But January is a great time to just get started with that whole process. Right. So let's listen now and enjoy a clip from Mindset Reset. What is self-judgment and why do we do it? A lot of it has to do with low self-esteem. When we have a negative view of ourselves, we are prone to do judgment as a way to confirm those beliefs. We have unrealistic expectations. That also falls right into setting goals for New Year's, right? We may make unrealistic goals for ourselves that are unattainable because we put too much on ourselves, right? And we talked a little bit about that in the last episode about go big or go home, and most of us go home. And so we want to really make attainable goals. We don't want to necessarily have everything perfect because that's another thing, perfectionism. Is right, the tendency to demand perfection from oneself, and that leads to self-judgment when you don't fulfill something that's unattainable. So to overcome the habit of self-judgment, these are some of the things that we found. So Joy, you want us to start with the first one?
Yes. Okay, and this is a big one. This is a really important one. You have to practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself with kindness and empathy as you would someone you care about. And here is the one that gets me the most. Forgive yourself for mistakes and imperfections. It's a big one.
Yeah.
Huge.
And sometimes we're led to believe these things about ourselves, maybe from other people in our life, so maybe a toxic person or a negative person in our life. It might not just be what we tell ourselves.
Right.
And so we have to learn to not only not listen to some of our own negative self-talk, but maybe
theirs too.
Yes.
And it could be that person is your parent. And you have been conditioned that way since birth.
Yeah.
And unhooking that, that's a big one.
And therapy is always a welcome tool. Yeah.
Get help if you need it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So important. Speak kindly to yourself and know that there are people there for you.
Yes.
And to not listen to those voices.
That's right.
after you listen to each of these little clips from our favorite episodes, like you said, go back and listen to the complete episodes. And we would love it if you could give it a like, a share, which we will remind you consistently because it helps us to get it out there and spread the word.
Yep. All right, next.
Okay, so the next one, and we both picked this one also, is manifesting and vision boards. So your vision for the new year. So if you go to YouTube, you'll find our episode where Joy and I actually did our vision boards. There's the video showing us doing our vision boards. But if you've never heard of a vision board before, and actually it's connected to manifesting because so a vision board are those things that you want to bring forth in your life. And manifesting is a way we can do that, right? In this episode, we talk about what is manifesting, what does the science say, and what is a vision board, how do we create one? And the discussion that we had was discussing how the word manifestation means to turn an idea into a reality. And like taking those positive steps to do that. It's not like magic. It's not like woo-woo.
No.
People think it's woo.
Right. Well, there is a little woo, but there's science behind the woo.
There is science behind it. So, and we share those resources with you in this episode. So if it intrigues you, we hope that you will listen to these clips now from manifesting and vision boards and go back and listen to the whole episode because it could just be your step to your future in 2025.
Yay. This is a much better topic to discuss here in the start of the new year so that you can get yourself straightened out and on track right away.
Yeah, because, what is the date in January where New Year's resolutions kind of come to an end, where people really give them up? I think it's like the 19th.
19th, yes.
Or something like that, right? So literally 3 weeks, right? People do their diets or their exercise routine or whatever, and they just give it up. So I think manifesting and using a vision board might be a better way to really create what we want in our lives.
I agree.
Yeah.
And there's some good science behind it too.
Oh, yeah. So I have pulled up some articles from Psychology Today. And so what exactly is manifestation? If you're not sure, and I know for many people they think it's a pseudoscience, manifesting, but the word manifestation means to turn an idea into a reality. So usually we want to manifest things that improve our happiness, our life, maybe our finances, our relationships. Later on, we'll talk a little bit about how vision boards can help us in that regard.
Right.
So some of the things they talk about, what does manifestation really mean, right? There are books out there like The Secret, The Laws of Attraction. There are other books by Esther and Jerry Hicks, Ask and It Is Given. There's a book by Gabby Bernstein, Super Attractor. These are all books about manifesting. There's a book by Dr. Wayne Dyer called The Power of Intention. So there are lots of books out there to guide us, help us. And I think if you have the mindset that manifesting can work in your life, it's more likely to work in your life, right? There's that whole science behind the power of positive thinking.
Now that is something I definitely can get behind. Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's also that body of work from Martin Seligman, who was kind of like the father of positive psychology. There is a certain amount of overlap there where you are starting to see, okay, this is how you can teach yourself to be more positive. And there's ways to do that. It's like a muscle you can exercise. There's overlap between that and some of these other individuals who talk about the power of manifestation and things of that nature. It's not just a bunch of hokum, and it's also something that you see in religion, organized religions.
Prayer is a big way of manifesting.
Right.
No matter what you choose, whether it's prayer to God, whether it's to the universe, to nature, each of us has our own way of manifesting what we want in our lives. And so in this article from Psychology Today, they said, what is the science behind it about turning an idea into a real thing? So this is one of the first things they talk about. A growth mindset can help you manifest your dreams and reach your goals. So there was actually research done by Dr. Carol Dweck, clearly showing that believing you can do something makes it more likely that you'll successfully do it. So that means our beliefs about our ability to learn, grow, and succeed, otherwise known as our growth mindset, can indeed affect whether we effectively manifest what we desire. And so with that research, it suggests that if we truly believe we can achieve something, we're willing to do what it takes to achieve it.
Therein lies the key.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's actionable steps. And for many people, they believe manifesting is simply just thinking about it and it will come to be. But this research actually shows that when you think in a more positive way, you're more likely to take the steps to actually make it happen.
Right.
Yeah. And thus the vision board is where that will help us.
So I just want to point out, having listened to those clips, I am sitting within eye line of my finished vision board. Every time I sit here and I go to work on something, I can look over to my left and see my vision board. And I still love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And I too have mine right across from my desk where I can see it. On my vision board, I actually have Girlish Gurus on there.
Yep, so do I.
Yeah.
Although I think ours was a little different in how you need to go back and watch the video where we create the vision boards.
Yeah.
I time-lapsed it, so don't worry. It's not like every little snip and clip.
But we hope you'll take the time now to create your own vision board for your future for 2025. Okay. The next one was one of my favorites, and it's because as a health coach, it's very important to me. And this was showing our hearts some love. And in this episode, we share what the number one cause of death for women is, which is cardiovascular disease. It's something we should all really be paying attention to. And of course, it is totally preventable for most people. And it's related to our lifestyle. So in this episode, we share what exactly cardiovascular disease is, the risks, the importance of a preventative lifestyle, and about educating the younger generation for the steps that they could take now to prevent any chance of this happening in their lifetime. So we share our connection with Lifeline screening, which is a preventative screening process that actually Joy and I went and did. We spent a few hours doing that one day. And if you check YouTube, the whole process will be there. We did like 5 different tests. We both came out with a clean bill of health, which was wonderful. So it does give you peace of mind. So we hope you'll go listen to that episode now. So we wanted to be sure that at our age as postmenopausal women that everything's working correctly and just to really literally get some peace of mind. And I know both of us were nervous about this going into it. Yeah. And thankfully, we'll take you through the process a little bit, but thankfully everything is good.
Right. Everything is good.
Everything is good.
We both have our results.
Yeah.
Mine were all normal. Yours were all normal.
Yeah. Other than the osteopenia, which I didn't know that I had already, but
which actually used to be osteoporosis, but you have
I reversed it, and we'll do another episode about that in the coming months. But yeah, and that made me feel good because I already knew I had osteopenia, and as soon as he did the test on, I think they do it on your shin, right away the technician said to me, "Have you talked to your doctor about osteopenia?" So
Julius, he was lovely.
Yeah. So let's just get started, I guess, with that process, and then we might go into a few stories because it's very important. Well, let's put it this way. I think one of the statistics is that 1 in 5 women will pass from cardiovascular disease. So more likely than not, you know someone who has either had a heart attack, had a stroke.
My mother, yep.
And so, we're going to get into that a little bit too. Because it touches us in some way, each of us in our lives. Somebody we know has experienced it.
Yeah. I feel like this is a good opportunity for me to talk a little bit about my why I feel like I want to continue to get screened and to make sure I'm staying on top of my heart health. And that is because my mother passed away. She was 59 and a half. And she passed away after having her clogged carotid arteries cleaned out. So she did not have a good diet, and she smoked for a significant part of her life. And as a result, she started to lose cognitive ability. And when they started trying to figure out what was going on with her, why she wasn't functioning at 100%, they realized that her carotid arteries were mostly clogged. I realize now that if she had access to these screening techniques, and also we've talked about this before, but actually cardiovascular disease starts at a much younger age than you think. And if this were more of a part of our routine medical care, then you would be able to head this off at the pass and treat it in a more effective and easier way. And I think this should just be part of our regular medical maintenance. It should be part of our screening, just like you go and get your teeth cleaned.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, and unfortunately, insurance will not cover it unless you have symptoms. And quite often, the first symptom is a stroke.
Right. Or a heart attack.
Or a heart attack.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's so important that we educate younger women, well, everybody, especially younger women, since cardiovascular disease does affect women at a higher rate. Mm-hmm. And especially it happens postmenopausal. Mm-hmm. And estrogen levels declining have something to do with that. But on top of that, it is lifestyle. And if we can educate our younger sisters, daughters, nieces, friends to take care of themselves from a very early age, wouldn't it be wonderful if you did go for your checkup and the doctor said, well, this is what you need: sunshine, stress management, a healthy diet, exercise, rather than treating the symptoms, right? Rather than treating an ill with a pill. And if they take those steps from an early age, they'll be guaranteed to have a much healthier life and longevity.
You can click the link in the description and get a discount on a Lifeline screening near you.
Yeah.
So go check that out as well.
February is American Heart Month, so that was why we did it in February. We went for our tests and we wanted to bring awareness to it. So we think it's really important, especially now as the new year approaches, that maybe now is the time for you to get your preventative screening done. And just as a note, because a lot of people, I know they post when I have like an Instagram post or any kind of social media post, they ask, does insurance cover this? Unfortunately, it doesn't. But if you are not having any symptoms, even your doctor won't send you for any of these tests unless you will have a symptom. And oftentimes the first symptom is a stroke. So that's why these tests are really affordable, necessary, just to give you some peace of mind.
Fast.
Yeah,
and
very fast.
Do yourself a favor, schedule up the tests.
Yeah. All right. And then Joy's favorite is the Ikigai and Ichigo Ichie.
Which I still can't say.
I know, it's hard.
But I love that episode.
Yes. So these are Japanese practices, and Ikigai is the practice of finding purpose in our lives, which we talk about so frequently, right? Especially as older women, especially as women who maybe are transitioning from a job to retirement, but we're not quite.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, the hat fell.
Blooper.
Okay, wait a minute. Is it on good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, it's probably going to fall again.
It's okay.
Women that are maybe transitioning to a different phase of their life, from an empty nester, retirement, maybe divorce, and want to find new purpose in life. So this episode talks all about that Japanese practice of finding purpose. And then Ichigo Ichie means one time, one meeting, and it's often translated to mean just one chance in a lifetime, like this moment will never happen again. Right. So embrace this moment. So we had a chat about that, and we talked about the 4 components of Ikigai, the 10 rules of happiness for Ichigo Ichie, and the importance of celebrating each moment.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And let me just say that one of my main purposes that I find so much happiness in is Girlish Gurus.
Yeah. And the time that we spent together and the things that we do. Like this past year, we had a lot of fun moments, right?
What's funny is while we are doing Girlish Guru stuff, we're actually doing super fun things.
Yeah.
And it's a surprise to me. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's like, wow, look at how much fun we're having.
Yeah.
And we're doing work.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we chose to do this,
right.
Because we want to enjoy what we're doing. And we're like, what better way to do it than encouraging other women to do it also, right? Inspiring other women to do the same. So take a listen now to some of our conversation about Ikigai and Ichigo Ichie. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that means a reason for being or a reason to live. So that's more like our purpose, right? Our purpose, our passion. And it's one's personal beliefs, passions, values, and vocation. And then Ichigo Ichie is a Japanese philosophy about this moment. Each opportunity presents itself only once. If you don't embrace it, it's lost forever. Ikigai is all about finding your purpose in life and creating flow with that purpose. And we'll go over some of the steps and some of the components of it further in our discussion. And then the Ichie is basically enjoying the little moments that happen in our lives, because that particular moment, even if it's similar to other moments, will never be the same as another moment. So treasure each moment as it happens, because that will never happen again.
Right.
So we'll go a little bit more in depth about that.
Right. And these two books also kind of coincide with the discussion we had about the blue zones. We did that podcast episode
in the fall
of last year. So go check that out, because there are some overlaps with Ikigai and Ichigo. Ichie, yes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they refer to the blue zones
Quite
in
a
the
bit.
books, and Dan Butner in the books. Yeah. So do you want to get started just with what some of the components are of Ikigai?
Yes. I can't wait to discuss this,
Yeah.
because I really think that we as a society have lost touch with this whole concept. And I really think this is a great conversation to have, and hopefully a lot of folks out there will get a lot out of it. And right now, in the season that I'm in with elderly parents trying to help get them situated, this is much needed. So
yeah. And I just wanted to add, especially post-pandemic, when people really were struggling and weren't able maybe to express their passions and purpose, that maybe this is like a time of renewal. And we're just a little bit into 2024 with so much more ahead of us. And maybe if you haven't already found your passion or purpose, maybe this will be a little bit of inspiration for you. This was on my list.
Lorraine, here it comes.
Okay, and this was specifically because
I love this so much.
So this was childhood dreams and kind of things that we did that we loved as children, but I got to meet my idol.
Say it like you mean it. Childhood crush.
My childhood crush. And I even brought my husband to meet him too. So I got to meet Donny Osmond.
Love it.
And I was only 12 years old when I fell in love with Donny.
Okay. So wait a minute. I actually did a video. We did a video on our YouTube channel about Lorraine and her love affair with Donny Osmond. So you need to go check that out. We'll put a link to that in the description. Go check it out. It's really good.
Because I had a dance group with some girlfriends, and she actually came with me to meet Donny, one of my girlfriends. And we spent a lot of time listening to their music, dancing to their music, just having a lot of fun. So yeah, take a look at the YouTube video, the pictures of Donny with his arm around me.
I love it. That's fantastic.
And around my husband, too. And my husband actually really, really found him to be such a nice guy. He really was so nice to meet. And it really was just like a childhood dream come true.
And let's not forget what a great performer he is.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Sing, dance, and act. He's a triple threat.
So we saw him in Las Vegas, and he actually won Vegas Entertainer of the Year that year.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
He's a triple threat. So if you're out there listening, Donny Osmond, we would love to have you as a guest on our show.
Yeah. In person.
Yes. Right between us. Although, I watched the Donny and Marie show growing up. I did not have as much of a fascination, but as I got older and I began to realize, he is such a talented performer. Even though I did love Donny and Marie show growing up, her dresses, fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved them so much.
And they were very funny.
Oh, yeah. They are. I'm telling you, great performers.
Yeah.
So, come on the show. We would love to have you.
Yeah. So take a listen to that episode now.
Childhood dreams.
And when we say dreams, we're talking about maybe your aspirations, who you wanted to be, what you wanted to do, where you wanted to go.
Okay, so part of this episode that's going to be entertaining is you're a baby boomer, right?
Yes.
And I'm a Gen Xer.
Yep.
You were probably,
12 years ahead.
Yeah, 12 years ahead of me?
Yeah.
Okay. My experience from my childhood was basically in the late 70s, early 80s, because I was born in 1972. So for me, my dreams as a child and aspirations were largely shaped by what I was watching on TV. And a good amount by what I was reading. So for me, that meant Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. Huge Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys fan. Which, by the way, did you know Nancy Drew was written by a collection of writers?
Oh, really? I didn't know.
But anyway, I digress. So Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I was also a huge Wonder Woman and Bionic Woman fan. And I love me some Scooby-Doo. Hanna-Barbera, Saturday morning cartoons. Those things kind of shaped my dreams and aspirations. So in no particular order, here's what I wanted to be when I was a kid.
Okay.
I wanted to be a private detective. I wanted to be Wonder Woman. And I wanted to write stories about Scooby-Doo.
Cool.
And other kind of like superhero-y type magical things.
Cool.
What about you?
So similar kind of things where what I was watching and doing, and music played a big part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the 60s music. So I grew up in the 60s and early 70s was when all of my original aspirations came about. So a couple of things. I love to sing and dance. And then this particular person who I met was very inspirational. And we actually created a group that encompassed their music and would dance. We actually performed in variety shows. We had our very own assembly at my elementary school. We went and we just asked the music teacher, can we do a show? And he said, okay, I'll give you a half hour.
Oh my God, you could have been Beyonce.
And were we good? I don't know. I felt like we were really good, but and we basically sang to the song with the vocals playing in the background, and the kids loved it. I mean, they got out of class, so what's not to love?
Of course, right?
So that was fun. But then what I really thought I wanted to do, and this for many years I did until I went to my biology class, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I loved animals. I couldn't have enough animals. I rescued cats. We had dogs. That went on even after I had a family. We had many animals. Don't have any right now because I have grandchildren now that I need to travel to visit, so I can't have pets. Grandchildren are so much better.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
Sometimes I do act like animals. But that's okay. We love them.
But I really wanted to be a veterinarian. And then I took biology class and had to dissect things. And then I decided,
No.
this is not for me. Plus the fact I could not bear the thought of having to put animals down.
Oh, yeah.
So I continue to love animals. I've volunteered at animal shelters. I've adopted dogs from shelters. So that's where the extent of that went. But then like you, I also thought I would want to write. And I loved writing short stories. I loved O. Henry. So I kind of loved to write like those ironic ending kind of short stories when I was in school. And then I put that on the back burner and got married, had a family, went into business with my husband. And it wasn't until I was 55 that I wrote my first book. But I did it.
You did. That's right.
I did it. So my dream finally came true, and I'm writing a second one.
Well, okay. I never became a private detective, but I did become a lawyer.
Right.
Okay.
Which could be the same thing sometimes.
I don't know. All right. So next up is one of my personal favorite episodes. I have to say, I did have a hard time narrowing down my favorites, but this one really such a good one because you can practice it anytime. It's like a muscle, and it's just such an uplifting thing to do, and that is glimmers.
And if you don't know what a glimmer is, it's the opposite of a trigger. Glimmers are tiny moments that bring us happiness and joy. So it could be simple little things throughout your day that just something happens. You hear a song that you love, or you see a butterfly or a rainbow, just like these little things that bring us joy throughout the day.
And let's not forget, Lorraine, you can never have too much joy.
Never.
Never. Just ask my husband. He'll tell you.
Yeah. So in the discussion that we had, we shared what exactly is a glimmer, who can benefit from glimmers, how do they work, and 5 ways to find them. And also, an interesting part of it is the polyvagal theory. So I'm not going to get into that now. So
That sounds a little dirty.
No,
I'm just saying.
No, it's not. It's totally not.
I know, but you know.
Yeah. But so to find out what that is, you need to listen to this episode. There's so much to the polyvagal theory.
That we're not going to get into that today.
We're not going to get into it now,
right.
But you can research it, look into it. I think it is an amazing tool to use for our mental health and for trauma, ADHD, autism, a wide spectrum of things. So do yourself a favor and look into that. But from this book, came the term glimmers from Deb Dana's book. And it is exactly the opposite of triggers. And so we're going to discuss a little bit about that now and how it might affect your life, how it's affected our lives without us even realizing what they were before we did the research. So in much the same way that a trigger is some kind of a cue, right? And a trigger will bring
a negative response.
Like a stress response. And it's either internal or external that brings one back to a sense of joy or safety. And this is from an article, verywellmind.com. The concept of glimmers, coined by Stephen Porges, or
we're not sure.
Yeah, but we apologize.
Right.
So these are examples of what glimmers are, or what some glimmers are, okay? Feeling the warmth of the sun. Sensing a cool, salty ocean air, the smell of cut grass, seeing a rainbow, sunlight sparkling on water, smelling lavender or some other relaxing scent, petting a dog or a cat, being in nature, a stranger smiling at you in public, the perfect cup of coffee. So these are all like little things that can bring us joy. They're not like overly tremendous or...
Right, they're small things.
Small little things that happen throughout the day, but they will trigger a welcome response in your body.
A pleasant, happy response, yes.
And then finally, for our favorite clips as far as between Joy and I, is the Milestone birthdays. And that was where we shared a Huffington Post article by Megan Vered. I wasn't sure how to celebrate turning 70, then I sent an email that changed my entire life. And so we share all about the things that she did for her 70th birthday and how we want to do those things for ourselves, what we want to do for our milestone birthdays, and not even necessarily a milestone birthday. But you'll want to listen to this because it's very inspiring. I think we got the most comments of any episode that we did on this, specifically from women, saying like, what a great episode. Oh, what a great idea. Yes. So you'll want to listen to that. And here's a little clip. What I wanted to share specifically about this article that this woman wrote, because it just hit me, and I actually reached out to her to see if we could have her as a guest, but once this article came out, she is inundated with interviews and...
Because it's so good.
Yeah, really. I think it just strikes a chord with so many people because you realize as you get older, man, there's so many things I want to do and there's so little time,
right?
You know? So I wanted to read the letter. So she sent out an email to all of her friends and family, what her wishes were for her. She was 69 at the time. So she said, my 70th birthday is coming up. And I was thinking about how do I want to celebrate it? So this was the letter that she created. And then after this, we're going to talk about maybe what we would share in our letters.
Right.
Okay. So she said on January 4th, 2023, she composed this email. Dear person I love, having just rolled past 69, I am thinking about the large number looming on the horizon. To honor that large number, I want to log in 70 experiences in 2023 with people I love. My goal is to say yes to whatever you might propose, no matter how big or small. Anything from a cup of coffee to a trip to a national park, from a walk in the woods to a Broadway show, from a manicure to a dance party. But please, no thrill seeking. I think I would add this in mine.
For sure. Yeah.
No roller coasters or bungee jumping, and nothing that involves a shark tank. I look forward to saying yes to your proposal, to a calendar full of one-of-a-kind events, and to fully enjoying memorable moments with you. With love, Megan.
That's such a good episode. And I had people reach out to me and say, this was my favorite episode so far.
And then we were also fortunate this year to have 3 guests. And our first guest that we had was Claudia Fabian of the Beauty Debut.
Oh my God, so gorgeous.
Yes.
And lovely person.
Beautiful woman. She's embracing, I guess she started by embracing her gray. So she grew out her hair. She's completely gray. But now her message is kind of, the Beauty Debut is we debut a different part of our inner and outer beauty throughout our life. And she's a pro-aging advocate. She talks all about how we should embrace every part of our life without judging ourselves and embracing wisdom, embracing our aging process by being a pro-ager.
Right.
So you'll want to listen to that episode. So here's a little clip of Claudia. Well, I mentioned to Claudia a while ago that I really need her tutorials because
yes.
I was so not that makeup girl. I just did like the most simplest thing. And even now I have no idea what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So when I go on my future book tour, can I hire you as my glam squad?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I love doing stuff like that. Yeah,
And
I'm
that's
in.
why I'm so excited about the YouTube channel. I can't wait to see whatever tutorial videos you're putting out.
Well, I think beauty can seem very complicated for a lot of people because there's so much out there, but it really can be very simple. And so I like to do everything from, the no makeup look all the way to full glam. So there's something for everybody on my Instagram and also soon to be on my YouTube channel, where I will focus on reviews of makeup, and we're going to dive into all the years I spent in beauty. That I feel like the industry that I loved so much has all of a sudden turned on me in a sense now that I'm older.
Yes.
Because it is such a proponent of don't age, anti-aging, wrinkle creams. To me now, it's kind of fueled me to make some changes and to kind of forge ahead for the next generation of women in general, but also women that work in beauty, that this has got to change. We have to change this old tune, this old narrative of wrinkle prevention, age prevention, anti-aging. I mean, that could be a whole separate podcast because that gets me going. It's just such a toxic way to view aging. And I really want to be a voice for change in that arena.
Oh, I just love talking with Claudia. She is lovely. Go check her out on Instagram. I think her YouTube channel is up and running, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
She has great posts on Instagram. I love seeing her posts.
When she does the makeup tutorials and everything, very, very good. So go check her out. Absolutely. Next up, we had Alicia Jones from Healthy Living. And she was super fun. She is a fitness guru, and her target audience is women over 45. And she had so much great information about weight loss as you age and maintaining your strength and just your longevity in general.
Yeah.
She was fantastic.
Yeah. She has a program. I think we may have included a link on there to her program. Yeah, she has a free masterclass. So if you go to follow that episode, you'll see it in the resources, her free masterclass. And it's called the 3-Phase Food and Fitness Formula for Every Woman Over 50.
And you can check her out on Instagram by searching at AJ Healthy. She's also on YouTube. She has a fantastic YouTube channel. You should go check it out. Alicia Jones, Healthy Living. Go check it out. She is super fun. She's super knowledgeable. And she's just a good all-around resource for women who are over 50 and want to lose weight and maintain their strength.
And you won't want to miss our fart walk talk.
Lorraine.
We had so much fun on that episode. You
So
won't want
much
to miss
fun.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, so here's a clip from that episode.
Okay, so this is a great segue into my next question, which is one that plagues me. It does. And that is dun dun dun, ye old belly fat.
Oh.
I mean, I got a little of it right here, right now, wanting to talk to you. Yeah, it's got a lot of questions to ask. Yeah. So,
But I don't hear them though today.
well,
Our bellies talk all the time
all
on
the time.
podcast.
Really?
there's actually 4 of us co-hosting this podcast.
Wow.
Our bellies.
Interesting.
I know that's going to be thrilling for everyone listening. I usually cut that part out for the audio version, but it is what it is. They're all entertaining and intelligent. I will say that. So, okay, if you are peri or postmenopausal and you are trying to lose belly fat and you can't just cut calories, this is an issue. A lot of people, and I dare not speak ill of any companies or programs who are helping with weight loss. Okay. But
I do all the time. No.
oh, you're a dangerous one, aren't you? I love it. Okay. Well, you know who I'm talking about, those new platforms and apps and things like that. And they worked well. But I know that for the long run, for me personally, belly fat is an issue. I would like some type of conversation about how to sustainably lose belly fat without constantly cutting calories, because when you're in menopause and your metabolism is changing, your muscle mass is changing, your whole body is changing, and you used to be one way, and like you talked about before, you are not eating any differently, or you're not doing anything differently than you used to, but you can't maintain your body the way you have in the past. How do you manage that? How do you deal with that as a menopausal woman?
For many, well, I'll say some feel almost like a desperation, like I just have to get rid of this. So their first reaction is do as much at hard intensity for as long as I can with the exercise and cut calories, these two things together. And I just want to grab everyone that does this and just say, please, like there is a way to do this and it's more sustainable, because let's say you do decide to do that. How long can you really keep it up for?
Not long.
Not long. And we all want to feel confident, to look our best, to feel our best for the rest of our lives. And so there has to be a strategy that works better. So let's first start with what is a standard natural fat loss to lose that's realistic. We want to maintain as much lean muscle as we possibly can, because lean muscle is in charge of our quality of life, reducing our risk of falls, helping with bone density. It is our fat metabolism burning fuel. So we want as much lean muscle at the same time as we lose fat, at the same time as we lose belly fat. So in order to do that, realistically, you only want to lose 1 to 2 pounds of weight per week. And when you take a look at the research, the best thing you can do is to lose weight more slowly, and I'll say lose 1 pound a week. And that is a hard thing for people to hear. When I say just start there, and I'm not even saying that, like, if you're using a scale as your weight, your inches could go down more, your belly fat could go down more, but you want the scale to go down incredibly slowly. Not only is it better for you maintaining
no problem here.
There you go.
And then finally, we just ended the year with Denise Evans. She wrote the book Zen in High Heels, and she shared her philosophies on finding Zen without giving up your fabulousness. And so we had, first of all, she has the most gorgeous voice. So
She does.
just like listening to her speak, she's so calming, and she gives us great tips on finding Zen in our lives. So some of the things that we discussed with Denise were how to find your way to peace with your fabulousness intact, and the principles that will help you find your Zen, which are meditation, gratitude, intention, non-attachment, relationships, love your body, nourish in nature, and fluidity. So here's a clip from that episode, and we hope you'll go and listen to the entire thing. So moving on in the book, I picked several other paragraphs that I thought we could talk about. And this was also in the chapter, The Need for Zen. And this kind of goes with what we were just talking about. So you wrote, allowing ourselves to use distraction as our default mode of existence is a barrier to evolution. Busyness is the perfect decoy. It serves its purpose, really, tricking us into believing we are doing things that eventually will lead to something meaningful. Staying busy is the socially acceptable norm. Hell, it's socially revered. Oh my God, I'm so busy. I know people wear it like a badge of honor.
Yes.
Busy with this thing, that thing, the next thing, and really no thing. That is to say, nothing that really matters. So I love that because
Thank
it's so
you.
true. People really do. Oh, I'm not getting any sleep. I'm up till all hours and I'm just so busy.
Mhm.
It's
And
killing
it
us.
gets to the point where you can't slow down or hold still, because then you're going to have to deal with the private thoughts.
Right.
Ooh, and there it is.
Mhm.
That is a really powerful thing. If you can recognize that and implement that, that's a big one.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons people think they try meditation and it's not for them, because in slowing down, their mind sort of goes crazy. And it's just a slow process of eliminating some of the noise. Even if it's just while you're putting your makeup on, you don't have the news on in the background, or you find little tiny moments. If you don't want to do a formal meditation practice yet, and you're just starting out and you recognize the overstimulation of your schedule, just take little opportunities when the commute to the school to pick the kids up, make sure you don't put on the podcast yet. Just have 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, where there's literally no outside noise, and just kind of get used to that. And then eventually you'll start to crave that. And then eventually the things that need attention will start to come up for you.
What I really loved about Zen in High Heels, it's incorporating a lot of principles many people talk about all the time, but it does it in a very practical way. It's like a beginner's toolbox that you can use to sort of help yourself get started. Maybe not necessarily seeking spirituality, but just finding calm and peace in difficult situations in your daily life, which if you're over 45, you've had a few of them, I guarantee it. And the other thing I really liked about this book that I've really never heard very many people discuss is the concept of fluidity. So that's something I encourage you to go back and listen to this episode and listen to her talk about that concept, because I found that particularly useful. You can find her all over Instagram. She started a YouTube channel, and make sure you check out the book because it's a good read. So all you need to do is hop on Instagram, search Zen in High Heels. She's going to pop up. And I think that's the name of her YouTube channel as well. Denise K. Evans, Zen in High Heels.
And I like her little tagline here. Evolved and fabulous are not mutually exclusive.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she does appear to me to be quite fabulous. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So go check that out. We were lucky to have some really good guests this year.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super fun.
Now, I did say finally, but that was not really finally, because finally, this is a great way to end this episode. Bloopers.
Oh, you know that the bloopers are my favorite. That's my favorite part. I'm always looking for the blooper. And what I've been doing is I have been including the bloopers on the YouTube version of the podcast episodes. So we post an audio version for you on iTunes, etc., and videotape it, right? For lack of a better word.
Yeah.
We don't really videotape anything anymore, but
Yeah.
we video it digitally and then we upload it onto YouTube. And that is sort of an uncut version of the podcast episode, and I include the bloopers in it.
Yeah.
So those are extended versions. I encourage you to go check them out because the bloopers are some of the best. They're just hysterical.
I think we'll just include a couple of audio clips of bloopers, but I think the best ones are actually the visual ones. So we'll just do a couple of audio ones here, but you definitely need to go check out the visuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
You definitely do.
Did you hear? I heard this woman on Instagram talk about, I think she called them fart walks.
Oh, what is a
So-
fart walk?
So that's an after dinner walk to get everything moving. She said her and her husband take fart walks.
I love that. And then you're doing it outside, so all of the toxic chemicals are being released out
Right.
there, right?
Right.
Lorraine, that's what we do when we podcast.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
boy.
Oh, now I'm gonna
Yeah,
use
fart
that.
walk. Yeah. So now when I do go on a walk with Rich sometimes, and I'll say that, are we going on our fart walk?
I can't wait to tell my husband. He's going to love it.
Oh.
I just don't even know what to say after that. Can you reach your camera and tilt it just too much? Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now everybody can see the crab and your hat. No, I'm kidding.
Are you taping right now?
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
you can add that in.
You know I'm kidding. You know I love you.
I know.
I had to take the opportunity.
Oh gosh, what happened to my thing here? Hang on.
All right, just look at me and smile. You ready? Mm-hmm. Look at that. That is perfect. All right. Welcome back to another episode of... Oh, now we got to start again.
Sorry. Okay.
Lorraine. May the porch be with you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right. I have to say, I do want to make one honorable mention for a discussion that we had earlier this year when we read the book Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. That was such a good book, and I really enjoyed talking about it. Go check it out. Listen to the episode. Get your copy of the book. I highly recommend it. It's very good information.
Yeah. And I think it will inspire you, especially if you're feeling that self-judgment or that you're not worthy. There is a lot of great information in that book that can help you on your worthy journey.
Get a copy of it. Check it out. It's really good.
And we have lots of fun stuff coming up in 2025 between guests and health and beauty and inspiration,
Lifestyle.
adventure,
Yes.
lifestyle. So there's lots and lots coming up. So we hope that you'll stay tuned.
Well, before we wrap this up all the way,
okay.
we do want to make sure...
Losing my hat again.
Lorraine, you're going to have to staple that thing to your something. Okay. Before we let you go, we want to make sure that we give a shout out for the retreat you're hosting coming up in September, right?
September 27th to October 5th, we are headed to Sicily, Italy.
And I cannot wait.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so fabulous. We have a personal chef who's also taking us on some tours. We'll experience the local culture. We're staying in a villa right on the sea. It's going to be fabulous.
Well, I was on the previous retreat in 2023, and let me tell you, that was super fun. I so enjoyed it. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
I really can't.
Yeah.
So
we'll post a link to the retreat also. And if you stay tuned in January, there's going to be a fabulous discount.
yay.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Instagram. Check out Lorraine's Facebook group if you're not in it. We can also put a link to that, I
Yeah.
think. Yes. So just join us. Come be a
Yeah.
part of our community. We want to
Yeah.
hear from you. Leave comments. Send us emails. We want to hear from you. If you want to be a guest, if you
Yeah.
have a topic you want us to discuss, please let us know.
And please share this episode with your friends and family. Download, leave a review. That helps us to get more eyes on it, to inspire more women, and possibly even get a sponsor here or there because, yes, we do have costs.
That's right.
And it would be wonderful to get a sponsor.
Yes.
So, yeah, help us by sharing.
Yes, give it a like, a share, subscribe to everything.
Yeah.
Yes, join us on our Instagram page, become a part of our community. We're trying to grow it, and it is growing.
Yeah.
But we would like it to grow a little more quickly.
Yes, yeah.
So come and join us.
Yeah.
We would love to have you.
So we wish you all a very healthy and happy holiday, and we look forward to spending time with you in the new year.
Can't wait for 2025. We'll
Yeah.
see you there.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Girlish Gurus. We hope you'll join us next time for more fun and inspiration. Be sure to check the description of this episode for links and information about the topic, and you can find us on our social media platforms starting with Instagram, Facebook, and now including YouTube. You can find us by searching Girlish Gurus, and you can also check out our website, girlishgurus.com, for more information on us, our projects, books, and our growing community.
And don't forget to download this episode, give it a good review, and share it with your girlfriends. We would also love to hear from you in the comments because the more interaction we get, the more episodes we can post. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.